Look, there's a lot of PMU artists, right, that are probably in the same position you were, right? There's some PMU artists that I know personally that have also found recovery, and they've gone, within the last year or two, they've gone, public, announcing, that they went to treatment and they're sober now, and I think that takes bravery. Because that can go both ways. You can have those that respect that and look up to that and applaud you for that and support you in that. And then you can have those maybe not so much. I think it's really brave to tell that story, especially when you're a PMU artist. Because I think what I would worry about most is not your peers, other PMU artists, right? I would worry about clients learning that you had an alcohol problem to the point where you had to go to rehab. I would worry about the public, like clients, because we all know most people are good. Most people in the industry are good. Most people, public, that we work on are good. But damn it, don't we have those, those assholes in the industry, the assholes in public, and those are the ones we tend to focus on because they make the most noise and they cause havoc. They cause pain and worry. So, did that happen to you?
It did.
With clients. So some clients found out, and it was not positive. Serious.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So what had happened is when I went to rehab, my only immediate family knew. And even with my alcohol addiction, my immediate family had no idea that it was as bad as what it was. That's how well I hid it. I said I was a functioning alcoholic. Mm-hmm. There's absolutely no thing. So when I got back on my social media, I just posted temporary closed, and I reached out to all my clients I had scheduled, put them on pause, didn't give them any information. So then after I was home for a while, I even took another month off before I went back into it because I had healing. I still had to heal, right? So I decided to put on social media and share what I did, where I went, and the reasons why. And there were two people, and you said it earlier, those two people made the most noise. I still remember those two people, but what I have to do is also remember the other 750 that applauded me for taking care of myself, getting sober, and also sharing it, because that was huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, good for you, because that does take courage, because there's shame, right, attached to addiction. There's shame.
Yes.
I mean, 100%. That's why you hide it.
Yes.
That's why you hide it and lie about how, we become liars, right? Mm-hmm. Because we lie about it, we hide it, because there's shame attached to addiction, and there shouldn't be. Addiction is a disease, just as diabetes, cancer, regular like medical diseases, but there is shame attached to it. Were you ashamed? Did you carry that shame?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And there's still times it creeps up on me too. Just, the thought of, because my gosh, I'm such a great person and a wonderful family and kids and husband and, all of these things, where I let this substance take control of me. Mm-hmm. And before I went into rehab, Teryn, I didn't realize that it was a disease. I didn't know. No. I didn't realize it was a disease. I just thought it was something that I couldn't control. And, I had the problem, and
like discipline.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I didn't realize it until I went in and got help for it. And you had just mentioned being a diabetic. When I went in, and with the doctors that were in the facility that I went in, they talked about medication that could help me long term because it was a disease. And my first thing was, I don't want to take medication for the rest of my life because of something that I did to myself. And they taught me about the disease. They taught me how the brain works and why this happens to people, whether it be alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, all of these substances that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So with the medication, when I denied it at first, the doctor let me sit on it for a couple of days, and then I went in and seen her again, and he said, Jen, what if I told you were a diabetic and you had to take this medication every day to help you through that? Would you do it? Yeah, absolutely I would.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of sat there and looked at me, and once those words came out of my mouth, it clicked. Like, yeah.
I think I think a lot of people don't see it as like a medical issue, like they just see it as it's willpower. Well, just stop. It's willpower. It's discipline. It's well, just love yourself enough to stop. But it's not that simple. It's way beyond that. It's and I think I had my own addiction that I dealt with, and I have talked about it on here. I think with Kat, I got a little deeper into it on one of the episodes, but I was addicted to pot. And for many, 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 many years, I mean, so many years. And I was so addicted that I couldn't afford, and I was addicted well before I became a PMU artist. And so addicted that I had to start selling it to support my own habit. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then when I became a PMU artist, well, now I had to tailor my pot smoking around my work hours, because now all of a sudden I'm a responsible person. I'm a young PMU artist and can't get up, can't wake and bake anymore. And that's what I was doing all those years. Right. And that was hard at first, but I think because I was so focused on tattooing eyebrows and the work, and it takes such focus, and there's a discipline all in its own in being a PMU artist. The training, the study, the practice, the knowledge, the work itself, that I got engulfed in that during the day hours, and that kept my mind off marijuana. But the minute I stepped out of the studio, I mean, I had a joint waiting in my truck, for cripe's sakes. And then all night smoke. And the good thing, I guess, about pot is I didn't wake up with a hangover.
You hangover, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have to keep moving my appointments up to 10, then 11, then 12. I mean, I could get up in the morning, know? And I never thought I had a problem either. I just thought, I'm a pot smoker, I'm like a chill girl. I just smoke weed like, so many other people I know. But I didn't really realize I had an issue until, me and Kat, and then Kat was, she's just not. And it started affecting, it affected our relationship,
Yeah.
And then she could point out where it was affecting other areas of my life, which I didn't recognize. And it would really piss me off. I didn't want to look at those areas of my life because I had been ignoring those areas of my life, right? I mean, you start to look at them while you just smoke a joint, and then you don't see them no more. Right. That's the lovely thing about addiction. It goes away.
Yeah.
But once she started pointing things out, I'm like, damn, I can't believe she sees that. And then you have to take a look. And I'll tell you, and I tried to quit, on my own like 3 different times, and I couldn't. And it was months and months of trying to quit. And I went to a 30-day outpatient program to actually get off marijuana, which some people mocked and look at that a little, really? It's just pot. Well, for me, it wasn't just pot. For me, it was my drug of choice that I was highly addicted to, and came before just about everything else. I don't know how I slid PMU in front of pot, made PMU more important than pot during my work hours and work days. I don't know how I did that, Jen, to be honest with you, but I did somehow. But that was the only thing I made it more important than. It was not more important than Kat, because I was sneaking and lying, and I mean, And
And also putting yourself in jeopardy. You said that you had to sell it in order to
yeah,
afford it, right?
I had to
Yeah, I
sell,
mean
yeah,
that's
yeah, and
legally.
legally, yeah,
Yeah,
right. I could
yeah,
get into trouble, and I was going to some really sketchy areas of town
right.
to pick it up, and
Yeah.
and doing all that stuff. But I look back, and I think when I look back at those years, which was so many years ago, it all not almost, it just doesn't feel like me. It feels like,
Hmm.
and I know you're only 2 years out, and I'm wondering if in your recovery, but I'm wondering if you'll feel like that. I feel so detached from who that person was. It seems like another life, another person, and I can't relate anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that happened, because it's been, oh my gosh, I mean, so many years. I just can't even tell you. Like since I was selling it, probably 25 years. And I haven't smoked for I think I told you 12 earlier, but it's 13. 13
Gee.
years. Yeah.
Now, can you be around people that smoke, Teryn, or is
Yeah.
that
I
is
I
that yeah,
I
yeah.
could not for the first 5 or 6 years. I could not. I just
Right,
could not, and that was a little bit difficult because I had a couple close friends that still do, that still did,
yeah,
and that was difficult. But they love me so much that we would plan outings where there would be no marijuana, and that's just how I had to roll for the first
right.
5 or 6 years because my sobriety was really important to me. But now, and then I just got to a place, and I'm in a place now where absolutely I can't even stand the smell of it, Jen.
Hmm.
There,
Yeah.
I can be around. I'm not really around it that much because me and my friends, we've all grown older. I still got the same group of friends, and none of them really smoke like that anymore. I mean, they're all like
Yeah.
doing gummies and CBD oil for Pete's sake.
I love
So
it.
mostly just to sleep, because as you get
You're
older,
right.
you got sleep problems. So it's not even like a recreational thing for them anymore. It's like, oh, I can't sleep, and
Yeah.
but no, it left me,
Yeah.
and the urge, the thoughts of it, the. I don't know if you do this, but I remember doing this. The fond memories and reminiscing about it. The whole, I mean, it used to feel so fond. But now I think about it, and there's no fondness. There's no reminiscing with love. It's just like, ew, I just can't believe I was that person. But
Yeah.
do you still reminisce and have
I do
fond
not.
memories of alcohol? No,
I do not.
that's really
Oh,
good.
I just can't. Just the thought of it. No, absolutely not.
Because a lot
No.
of people in addiction, they go through that for years
Hmm.
after they get sober.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
really love to talk about it in fond memory of it,
Yeah.
right? And
No.
I don't know if it's because that kind of keeps them close to it, but not
Hmm.
doing it. But there's a little bit of a phenomenon there that a lot of addicts like sober
Yeah.
like to talk about it, like to talk
About the
about
good
it.
old days.
Yeah, about the good old
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
No, and I don't know if it's just because I am so hell bent on I just feel fantastic, or if it's the medication or the counseling or the combination of all. Whatever it is, I'm just gonna take it and run with it.
Right, right.
Yeah.